About Snowden and the NSA. First of all, with all due respect to Dr. Steve Pieczenik, Snowden is not a double agent. Voice analyst Sherry Edwards, who can analyze voices just like you can analyze body language, has made it clear that Snowden in his voice is honest and cares about humanity. And in regards to his holy...
But sure, you know, even responding to that only puts it back out there. Look, regardless, all this NSA stuff's pretty much already come out before. Through a whole bunch of other whistleblowers. So the point is they are illegally spying on us. That's the issue, not who Snowden really is.
Right. And in regards to that revelation he said is coming, is it possible as a contractor, you wonder, does he have info about how the NSA, as Alfred Weber of Exopolitics TV talked about, has the ability to track and monitor you through your bodily light emissions that you can't normally see?
Sure, that was patented 20 years ago, and it's hooked into the satellites now. Off of your heat residence, off the top of your head and shoulders, they have a biometric print tracking you in real time, face scanning cameras. Most of the spying's done by the 860-something thousand private contractors that use the data in economic espionage, destroying the free market. But the larger revelation is going to be blackmail of Congress. That's already come out with MI6 blackmailing Parliament. It's blackmail, and that a large members of Congress are pedophiles. And that's come out in England as well, and that they're using the pedophile data to control them.
Yeah, that's right. And is it possible that contractor Snowden, as some whistleblowers have said, but he can't really be proven, that the NSA has cooperated with NASA to use spacecraft and bases on the moon, among other things?
Well, I know this. They're about 30 years advanced what they say. I've known quite a few NASA engineers and astronauts we've interviewed, Buzz Aldrin and others, and I've had private conversations with Buzz Aldrin a couple times. But I knew Raymond Teague, who died last year, God rest his soul, earlier this year, a good friend of mine. He's famously in the film Mission Control, Frontline, controlling the cameras on the moon. He controlled the cameras on Skylab and the space shuttle after that. And he said, no, they were on the moon. But he couldn't talk about the other classified stuff. He just said there's a lot of stuff the public wasn't allowed to see. And that's why you saw fake photos and stuff. Just like you Photoshop something for your business to make it look better, they couldn't get the photos back because of radiation. Digital cameras hadn't been invented yet, so they dolled up some photos. That's where all the conspiracies come from. I appreciate your call. Let's go ahead and talk to Julio in Wyoming. Julio, you're on the air.
Aloha, Alex. It's a total life change from Chicago to Wyoming. It's so beautiful seeing people with open carry and actually caring about their freedoms out here. It's beautiful.
That's right. For all the negative things that are happening, there's an opposite and equal reaction under Newtonian physics. There is a giant awakening happening, but it's a race to the finish line. We're in the fight. We have to decide, though, is the empire on the march or are we on the march?
100%. And watching CBS Chicago drudge link to this about ISIS attacking Chicago. Mark my words, Alex, it's going to be similar to 9/11. I'm reading documents from Homeland Security and the FBI talking about domestic extremists going to attack government buildings, or domestic extremists in San Antonio are going to attack emergency officials. I'm going to tell you this, Alex. I have a feeling when an attack happens, not if, but when, it's going to be ISIS with domestic extremists going after the evil U.S. government.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no, you're absolutely right. They said 2 years ago, Army War College stuff came out claiming, this was in mainstream news, that Tea Party, I mean, I made a big deal about it at the time because it was so ridiculous. I probably talked about it 100 times. That's where I came up with the saying, it's like Superman joining the Legion of Doom. The Tea Party is the most Islamophobic group out there. God bless them. I'm not Islamophobic, but I am radical Islamophobic. I am globalist phobic. I am tyranny phobic. I am chop women and children's heads off phobic. I am anybody in black uniforms torturing people phobic, whether it be the CIA or the ISIS scum. And yes, they conflate and they mix together. ISIS is going to hit Chicago and going to hit police and firemen and firefighters any minute, and domestic extremists. So they wedge that in, getting it ready. And absolutely, it doesn't care if it's not true. They're claiming Assad's with al-Qaeda when he's been fighting al-Qaeda and ISIS. And they'll probably say, I'm with them. I mean, hell, excuse me. We could play the clip of MSNBC saying that I influenced the Boston bombers and that I was deeply racist. That story had nothing to do with race. With no proof, my lawyer said, yes, you can win a lawsuit, but it'll take years. Is that what you want to spend your time on? I mean, they said I'm behind it. Just absolutely Fruit Loop, off the wall, crazy town. It's like saying Little Red Riding Hood's the wolf. I mean, it is just 180-degree certified fraud. But yeah, I mean, they might say Ron Paul's behind it. I mean, the sky's the limit. They say Iran's behind Al-Qaeda. When Iran backs Hezbollah and other countries back Hamas. I appreciate your call. Good to hear from you. Great points. Let's go ahead and talk to Don in Houston, Texas. You're on the air.
Three things, Alex. You might want to write them down. The first question I have for you, Mr. Jones, is prove our government funds Al-Qaeda. And then number two, can you tell us about Michael Aquino, the former head of the NSA, National Security Agency? And then three, I'd like to fly over there to California and meet David and crew, and where and how could I do that?
Well, I can't get on air and tell you where our crew is going to be exactly because I don't even know. We're going to be, David Knight's going to be on air tomorrow here with us, and then we're going to send some reporters out there. I was saying who'd be on air tomorrow with the daily weekday show. I appreciate your call. You're saying prove. I mean, I could take the rest of the show and have them. Oh, you have proof. Because, I mean, it's on record that they set up Al-Qaeda in 79 as Zbigniew Brzezinski. It's on record Saudi Arabia protects them. It's on record Al-Qaeda in Iraq changed their name to ISIS or IS. I thought you were saying you want me to prove it. You go ahead and prove it. Yeah, I thought he said he wants me to prove it, or did he want to prove it? Because it says that on screen he wanted to prove it. Let's go ahead and move along now since he hung up. Let's go ahead and talk to Bob in Texas. I mean that's just like saying prove the Atlantic Ocean exists. Our government funded the rebels. The main rebel group was Al-Qaeda, is Al-Qaeda. They changed their name. And they even endorsed Al-Qaeda in the Council on Foreign Relations, saying why we need Al-Qaeda last year in a headline. And they funded the Muslim Brotherhood to overthrow other areas like Egypt. And they used Al-Qaeda out of Saudi Arabia into Benghazi in the east of Libya to overthrow that country. I mean, that's who they're using. So there's your proof. Let's go ahead and, I mean, even Rand Paul said we shouldn't be Al-Qaeda's Air Force. Senator Cruz. This is a well-known thing. It's like proving that Dale Earnhardt is a champion NASCAR driver. I don't need to prove it. I've proven it 18,000 times here on air. I've made films about it, if that's what you were saying. Maybe I missed what you were saying. Bob in Texas, go ahead.
You've done a wonderful job of waking people up, Alex, and hope they wake up from this show. I have a perfect question for you today, given the earthquake in California, and also preparations being made by FEMA in the New Madrid fault area, and the documented increase in seismic activity all over the earth. Do you think there's a possible connection between a natural catastrophe and a reason for them to create the terrorism as they cover to get control of the population before a natural catastrophe? Well,
they could use a naturally occurring natural disaster as the cover to get more control, a power grab, mission creep. Secretary of Defense William Cohen in 2008, April issue of Army Times gave a press conference, but they covered it, saying that we do have earthquake weapons. And that's now been in mainstream news. I don't know how advanced they are. I don't know if that's true, but they say they have them. Or are you saying they know a big natural disaster is coming, they're getting martial law ready for that? Which one of those are you saying?
I'm saying that they probably know that there is a natural calamity coming because of the increase in seismic and volcanic activity.
Yeah, I'll cover that when we come back. That's a good point. I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. Most people know that iodine deficiency has been a crisis around the world. Iodine is key to so many of the body's functions, especially the thyroid. I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group. You now know it as Survival Shield, true nascent iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating, and the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox special at InfoWarsLife.com. In the near future. When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. Infowars building independent media operations.
Let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
It's a popular conspiracy theory talk show called Infowars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and